Hello, everyone. Um, First of all, I'd like to say that it seems like every time I start to make a video, I start coughing or get all stuffy, and um, I know a lot of people aren't going to believe this, but I'm telling you that when you try to do something good, when you try to do the right thing, once you become spiritually aware and enlightened about certain things, um, evil forces start to attack you and prevent you from doing what it is you're supposed to be doing. So when things like that happen, don't get discouraged. Know you're on the right track. So anyway, try to get through this without coughing or without any interruptions or whatever. But I guess what I want to do is kind of take off from the last video and explain how I ended up living where I'm living now. When all this first started going on, I lived about an hour and a half away from here. And during this time of fasting, when I basically turned my life over to the Lord and started seeking truth, I started having a reoccurring dream. And the dream was basically that I was driving up this road that didn't exist behind the house where I lived at the time. There was this mountain behind our house. There really was a mountain there. But in this dream, there was a road that just went straight up the mountain, a paved road, and then straight down the other side, and basically another world existed there. So I kept having this dream about this, and after I started going to this church, that I felt the Lord led me to in a supernatural way with a falling star and all that I've explained. Then I got the job on the James Franco film, and then that led to a job with MTV, and that led to more jobs in the movie industry. And well, one of the things I realized was that in between jobs, I needed some kind of income, and it's kind of hard to get a job and tell somebody, don't know when I'm going to get called out of town for my other career or whatever. Can you employ me temporarily, or invest time in me when I might take off on another job? You just can't do that. So I explained to my friend at church my situation at the time. He happened to be a superintendent on in a construction company that worked at a local mill. Well, I say local, about an hour and a half away from where we lived here in Giles County. And he told me that he could hire me, and then if I got a job working on a film or whatever, he could keep me on the payroll, so when I got back, I would still be employed. So I was like, awesome, thank you. And I did that, and I worked for this company for about 4 months, I guess. And lo and behold, I got a job on somebody called me up that I had worked with on Child of God, and told me they could use me on a film that was shooting in West Virginia called Perch. So I went and worked on this film, and I came back, and come to find out, while I was gone, my friend had lost his position at the mill that we were working at, and so I was no longer employed. When he left, basically, I left because he wasn't there to keep my name on the payroll. So I was back to square one, basically, and didn't know what I was going to do. And it was just a matter of a couple days. I realized that there was a movie that was going to be shot locally, and they were choosing between two counties to shoot the film in, and one of them was the county where I currently lived, and the other was the county where I was working in, that basically was over the mountain from where I lived, an hour and a half away. But basically, you went over the mountain, but you didn't go straight up the mountain and back down the other side. You had to drive around it. So about an hour and a half drive. And I wasn't putting two to two together yet about this dream and the location where I was working. Not yet. So anyway, I find out about this movie, and they're trying to decide on where to shoot it. And actually, I'm sorry, there were 3 locations. And anyway, they ended up dropping the county where I was currently living. So it was down to the county where I had used to work in, Giles, and another county closer to Roanoke, Virginia. And they decided on Giles County. So I called up the line producer and set up an interview, and I went and saw them, and they hired me for this job. And so this movie was being shot in Giles County, the same place where my friend at church had given me a job, basically over the mountain from where I lived. And in my dream was this other place over the mountain. Then I put 2 and 2 together, and because I really liked this area. It's a beautiful area. I had already considered, that maybe I would like to move here. And then when I got this job on the movie, it became clear this is where the Lord was leading me. So during the movie, we had a scene that we shot on Main Street in Perch, and I saw this restaurant on the corner, a real cute little place, and diagonal from the courthouse we were shooting at as well. And it was empty and just a cute little place, and I thought it would be cool to open that place up. So just in the back of my mind, it was an idea I had. And so while working on the movie, I stayed at a local hotel, and got to know the hotel owner, and he urged me that when I finished the film, to come back to Giles, stay at his hotel, and open his kitchen and run a restaurant out of there. And so that's what I did. After the movie was over, I put some clothes in a suitcase, and I drove over here, and I opened up the kitchen. And I did that for about 6 months. And that little restaurant was still available. And so I looked into getting it and opening it, and it all worked out, and that's what I did. And that was, I moved here, it'll be 4 years next week. 4 years ago next week. So that's just another way that I use the Lord's guidance to make major decisions. And now I'm in Giles County, Virginia, and growing where I'm planted. Thanks, guys. I love you. That's all for now. Bye.